So let's make the great beginning of trigeminal nerve. So what is the sensory supply of the sensory supply to external auditory meatus is by which nerve is the important question of the examiner. It is the trigeminal nerve which is very important for the external auditory meatus and also for the nerve supply to the external ear. Now let us look at the various structures. So you can see that trigeminal has got three divisions. So this is the ophthalmic nerve, territory of the maxillary nerve, and the territory of the mandibular nerve. So these three fundamentally supply the various areas of the face. The only place where yes. Now we are very clear. Yeah. So you have the territory of the ophthalmic nerve and the territory of the maxillary nerve and the territory of the mandibular nerve. So there's only one area which is not supplied by the trigeminal nerve. The sensory supply is not from the trigeminal, and that area is the classical skin overlying the angle of the mandible is what you need to remember. Sesha and others, can you be able to tell me whether the voice is loud and clear and the broadcast is all clear for you? Yeah. Right. So that is the area. The area which is overlying the angle of mandible is supplied by the great auricular nerve. Great auricular nerve is what you have to emphatically remember. Now in a road accident, superior orbital fissure is pierced by a rod. What are all the nerves that pass through it that undergo the damage? So ophthalmic division of the trigeminal nerve plus the oculomotor nerve. They are the ones which typically get affected. Now comes a very important question. What are all the structures that pass through the superior orbital fissure? Is a very important question. So you should know that the lacrimal nerve of the cranial nerve 5, trigeminal's branch, lacrimal nerve, frontal nerve, which is a branch of the 5th cranial nerve, trochlear nerve, superior ophthalmic vein, they all pass above the ring. So here you are having a ring structure. So what passes above the ring, what passes through the ring is very, very important. So within the ring, the oculomotor nerves, superior and inferior division, nasociliary branch of the 5th cranial nerve, and the sensory roots of the ciliary ganglion and the abducens, they all pass within the ring is what you have to ultimately remember. So now let us have a more clearer picture. The lacrimal nerve, which you are able to see here, the frontal nerve and the abducens and the oculomotor's inferior division. They're all passing through the superior orbital fissure. Also trochlear nerve, superior division of the oculomotor nerve, and the nasociliary nerve, they're all passing through the superior orbital fissure is what you have to ultimately remember. Good to see Dr. Vibha, who is also online. Yes, our new channel is sometimes little tricky. We have completely concealed this channel so that only subscribed students are attending. So for a while we want to do that in order to promote the subscriptions. Yeah. So I hope you're all there in the WhatsApp group. So you will be receiving the link the moment the broadcast is about to start from our helpline. So that's how you can be able to join. Now, Doc, The submandibular salivary gland, parasympathetic supply. How do you get the parasympathetic supply? It is the lingual nerve which provide the parasympathetic innervation to the submandibular salivary gland is what you have to basically remember. So where are the sublingual glands, submandibular gland? Here you are having sublingual and submandibular gland. So you have the lingual nerve, and the submandibular gland is hanging underneath the lingual nerve, and the lingual nerve is the one which basically supplies. And lingual nerve, if you take, whose branch is the lingual nerve? Lingual nerve is the branch of the trigeminal. So that is how trigeminal is the one which is responsible through the lingual nerve to make our submandibular salivary gland to secrete, is what you need to remember. Now doc, so if you take the brainstem, you have the midbrain, pons and medulla. The auriculotemporal nerve is the one which supplies the parotid gland. So the whole story starts with glossopharyngeal nerve. Glossopharyngeal nerve is located in the medulla. You all know that very well. So third and fourth, they are there in the midbrain. Fifth, sixth, seventh, they are there in pons. Eighth, ninth, that is a glossopharyngeal. They are typically located in the medulla. And this glossopharyngeal is the one which is giving rise to this sending the fibers to otic ganglion. From the otic ganglion, the fibers will be reaching the parotid gland, and it is the auriculotemporal which is picking up the fibers from the otic ganglion and sending them to parotid. So this is the favorite question of the examiner. Which is that cranial nerve which is secretomotor for the parotid gland? It is the glossopharyngeal. Which is that ganglion you need to remember? Otic ganglion. Which is the nerve that basically is carrying that fibers to deliver it to parotid gland? It is the auriculotemporal. So that is the story of the secretions of parotid gland, is what you have to ultimately